Well, hi everybody. As you can see, I've got Maya. Maya is my, what would she be? Almost 4-year-old blonde spotted python. So if you've never seen a blonde spotted, this is what they look like. And they have, or most of them have, little yellow to orange dots running down here. And compared to a normal spotted, they're quite light. The brown in between their spots is much lighter, and you can see the dots, their spots quite clearly compared to a normal spotted python as well. But in actual terms of shape and head shape and everything, exactly the same. And I would say in personality and behaviour, exactly the same as any spotted python. Very easygoing, chilled out, laid back snakes is how I found my spotteds. And I do have another one, and her name is a Pani, and she's completely patternless, and she is only a year old, so a lot of growing to do at this particular point in time, but she's growing. And I might get her out so you can see the difference from Maya to a Pani. So I'll kind of spread this out to where I fit a Pani in before the video gets too long. As you know, once I get chatting, I keep chatting and I forget all about time and just keep chatting like I'm doing now. So guys, I want to, you know, I said that I wanted to talk a little bit more and in depth about emotions that our snakes will show us. But I think I'd like to start with the emotions that we show our snakes, which I think is the key to your relationship with your snake, is exactly what you're feeling can be what your snake is feeling. That it doesn't go with that all of the time. I'm going to turn this air off so you're not going to get that hum. So, no, it's not always the fact that we're feeling something that your snake is, but it can be very much so. So the main one that I would really like to talk to you about when it comes to your snakes is you being nervous. And that possibly runs off into being fearful, but I think there is a difference between being nervous and being fearful. And how I can differentiate it is, nervous is when you're just a little bit unsure and you're being a little bit cautious and probably overcautious, and it is, you know, visible and it sounds visible. I mean, you hear it, as how you can't hear visibly, but you can hear it in somebody's voice when they're nervous. Fear is completely different, for me anyway. Fear is a straight out frozen state of mind, and all you're thinking is, I am, what are you doing, Missy? I am going to get hurt, and I'm afraid. Nervous is, you've got that feeling that you might, but it's not that intense level, and you manage that a little bit, your nervousness a little bit better than a fear. But when it comes to your snake, nervousness is as bad as being fearful. And if you're feeling nervous, then your snake is going to know that you're nervous, and they're either going to be very nervous themselves towards you, and you are equally in a position to get bitten by them. But it is also, if they sense that you're nervous, they've got the better of you. They've totally got the better of you. And they are the boss. They know you're nervous, and they will utilize the fact that you are, and they can turn on you to let you know, I know you're nervous. I know exactly what is wrong with you, and I'm going to give you a good reason to not only be nervous of me, but to be afraid of me, and you're opening up that door. So, how do you combat being nervous? When you are nervous. There's no getting around it. There is no denying it. You are nervous of a snake. One, it's because you know that they're a little bit more fearful themselves and not so willing to accept humans. Oh, sorry, Bob. I should have watched where your little head was. Hey. So how are you going to overcome it? You are going to have to work on that yourself. I don't know the fix, because if you go in nervous, and I'm not saying don't go in there because you're feeling nervous, because you'll never go in and pick that snake up, but find a way to eliminate as much of that emotion as you possibly can before you go in and pick that snake up. And whether that be just really taking your time, and you know, you get that shaky voice, and the snake will hear that. So it is, for me, very important. And you know, with Tessa, like as in she bit me the other day, I can say it takes a lot to make me nervous. Everybody's got to have an element of fear. Nobody's fearless, let's just say that. But I don't have that full-on fear, and I don't have that full-on nervousness. I was aware that after she bit me, that she still wasn't going to be happy with me getting her out. But I also had to be strong and let her know that she's not bossing me around. And even though I wasn't nervous or afraid of her when I went in there for her to bite me in the first place, she bit me because she didn't want to come out. And that's the end of the story. But if I'd gone back in there nervously or with fear, I would have been bitten again. So I just am fortunate that I'm not easily put into that nervous state of mind, but I also knew it was so important I wasn't nervous and I showed no fear to her, and to go back in and get her out. And you know that old saying, when you fall off a horse, the only way to overcome it is to get back on that horse again and ride it, and not walk away and say, that's it, and let that fear override the joy of riding that horse. So anyway, this is Maya, and before I keep going, I'm going to get little Apani out, just so you can see the difference between the two. I could actually get Apani out and have her in this hand. So I will be back. Okay, I'm back. I won't be on for too long, but this just gives you an idea of the two together. And of course, this is little Apani, who you can see is little, and this is Maya. And this will ultimately be how big Apani ends up in her life when she's a few years old. Of course, she's getting bigger and bigger compared to when I actually got her. She's grown a lot, and as you can see, you know, for some people, a snake even of this size, they're nervous of or afraid of, let alone being even more nervous and afraid of a snake of Maya's size. But honestly, neither one of these girls have ever tried to bite me at all, and you know, they're very sweet and very easygoing, these little ones, and yet they say little ones are more feisty than our bigger snakes, but I don't believe so. I think our bigger snakes, when they're little, are a little bit more feisty, but these little ones who are always going to be little through their lives compared to, say, Jack or Lily and so on, are just not like that at all. So what do you think, Maya? I think Maya would really like to have a little bit of an explore today, which I will let her do, and I'll have a little bit of time with Apani while I've actually got her out, because I am also not somebody that gets them out to then just put them back home again. I've never done that, and I don't want to do that. And even though I got Apani out right now, just to show you the difference between her and Maya, which, you know, I would like them to come out all by themselves, which Maya did, and Maya's been wanting to do that for the past few days. I'm sorry that I'm kind of looking like this, but I'm just letting Apani do her little explore right now. That's on me, whereas Maya can go off up into one of the hangout spots and hang out. Apani's a little bit too little to be doing that yet, but her turn will come. So while I'm blind in one eye, and both my snakes are both here, remember, nervousness, it's as bad as fear. Really, it's as bad as fear. And try and eliminate that nervousness when you're handling your snake. Take some deep breaths and go with the flow of the snake, and stop worrying about where their head's at. And if you do know the snake that's a little bit more that way inclined and is going and could be one that can turn on you and bite you, then of course you've got to keep your eye on where the head is. You want to know where that head is. You want to be aware of their body language. Keep that snake in front of you, where you can see them. Give yourself plenty of room. Don't put yourself somewhere where it's a small space, where neither the snake can feel they can get away from you or you can move away from them. They feel trapped, they'll turn. So eliminate all aspects of where you're both feeling that nervousness. The snake maybe or may not be, because even though they may be nervous in the first place, it turns to, I'm the boss, the moment they realise that you're nervous. Oh, sorry, Missy, oh sorry. Here we go. How's that for a chilled snake? I'm not holding her hard. She can move if she wants to. Alright guys, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your snakes, even if they're hiding in here somewhere. Ciao.